All right, everyone, get ready for a really interesting deep dive today.
Yeah.
We're going from the world of British short-hair cats
Huh?
to some bigger ideas about language and culture.
Definitely.
This time, you guys sent in a really cool mix of sources.
Yeah, a really eclectic collection.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we have this Chinese article that's all about how to tell if a British shorthair is a purebred.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll jump into some parts of
Yeah.
which is an English vocabulary book by Joachim So.
Exactly.
Get ready for some surprising connections.
I think what's so cool here
Yeah.
is that both these sources are about systems of classification.
Oh, interesting.
Whether we're talking about a cat's pedigree
Uh-huh.
or how we define words,
Okay.
it's all about, creating order,
Right.
understand the world around us.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Let's do it.
Let's start with that British shorthair article.
Okay.
I always thought they were just,
Uh-huh.
gray cats.
Yeah. But it turns out there's a whole art to figuring out if one's a purebred.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The article really goes into detail about the physical traits.
Okay.
For example, did you know that their fur?
Uh-huh.
It's short and dense, right?
Yeah.
It's often described as feeling like a luxurious rug.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's not just the color.
No.
It's like the feel, too.
It's the texture, yeah.
I'm learning so much already.
And then there's the body type. They
Okay.
have these short legs,
Mm-hmm.
but they're surprisingly strong.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Right.
These cats were bred in Britain,
Yeah.
maybe even descended from,
Right.
Roman working cats.
Right.
So they needed to be tough.
Okay. That makes sense.
Right.
So it's like all these physical things you're looking for.
Yeah.
They aren't just random. They
Yeah.
show the cat's history and purpose.
Exactly.
Wow.
And it gets even more specific.
Oh, really?
A purebred British shorthair,
Uh-huh.
it should have a round head,
Except for a flat top.
a flat top.
Yeah.
Who knew? I would have just looked for the roundness.
Yeah.
This is fascinating.
Right.
What about the tail?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
There's the specific tail shape, too.
Oh, really?
It should be thick at the base.
Oh, okay.
And then it tapers to a rounded tip.
Got it.
The article makes it clear that a proper tail,
Yeah.
it shows you've got a purebred.
Wow, these breeders.
Yeah.
They really pay attention to detail.
Right.
It's like they're reading a secret language
Right.
written in the cat's body.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
And speaking of languages,
Oh, yeah.
this attention to detail reminds me of how we look at vocabulary.
Interesting.
Each word has its own specific meaning
Uh-huh.
and the way we use it, right?
Right.
Just like each trait on the cat
Yeah.
helps determine its breed identity.
Okay, I see where you're going.
Right.
Let's get into this vocabulary book.
Right.
Where do we even start?
Or I saw some words that I thought were really interesting.
Yeah.
They connect back to what we were just talking about with the cats.
Okay.
And they also hint at some bigger themes,
Oh, cool.
like the word ecosystem.
Okay.
It made me think about how a purebred cat exists within,
Yeah.
a really carefully controlled lineage.
Right.
And all living things are connected in these complex ecosystems.
That's a cool parallel.
Right.
So knowing a breed standard is like
Yeah.
understanding one tiny piece of a much larger system.
Exactly.
Wow.
And then there are other terms like horticulture,
Okay.
which reminds us that humans shape the natural world.
Uh-huh.
Just like breeders select for traits in cats.
Yeah,
We cultivate plants to help us.
that's true.
We're not just watching the ecosystem, we're a part of it.
I'm seeing how these totally different topics
Yeah.
are actually connected. It's
Yeah.
all about relationships
Yeah.
and connections.
Exactly.
Right.
And as we keep going,
Yeah.
I think you'll see even more connections pop up.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So we've got ecosystems and horticulture.
Yeah.
Both connect back to our cat chat.
Right.
What other vocab gems did you find in this book?
Well, there were a few
Yeah.
that kind of stood out to me,
Okay.
like marine and navigation.
Okay.
They make me think of huge oceans
Yeah.
and exploration, right?
Right.
And it made me wonder
Yeah.
if they connect to that same impulse
Okay.
we were talking about with the British Shorthairs.
You mean like that drive to explore new places?
Exactly.
But cats aren't exactly known for sailing the seas.
True, true.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
cats are natural explorers.
Yeah.
They're always pushing boundaries.
Right.
Always looking for new spaces.
That's true.
Maybe those instincts
Yeah.
connect to our own history of exploring the ocean,
Okay.
even if cats stayed on land.
I see what you mean.
Right.
It's like these words
Yeah.
capture a feeling of adventure
Uh-huh.
and curiosity about the world.
Exactly.
Speaking of curiosity,
Huh?
this book also has words like phenomenon
Uh-huh.
and altitude,
Right.
they make me think of natural
Oh,
wonders,
yeah.
things that inspire awe.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Those words point to something beyond the everyday,
Yeah.
reminding us of how grand nature is,
Right.
how powerful the natural world is.
And this brings us to another connection, I think.
Okay.
This book also has words about human society and culture.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, I'm ready.
So there are words like
Uh-huh.
mayor, government, and democracy,
Okay.
which highlight how we create these social structures.
Right.
It's pretty different from the cat world,
Yeah.
but it shows that same drive
Okay.
to create order in systems.
So from categorizing cat breeds
Yeah.
to making governments,
Right.
it's all about figuring out how to manage complexity.
Exactly.
Wow.
And it goes beyond systems of power, too.
Well, really?
The book also has words like union, community, delegate,
Okay.
terms that emphasize working together. Collective action.
It's interesting how these words
Yeah.
reflect the ways humans connect and build relationships.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh.
we're not solitary like cats.
Right.
We rely on each other.
Exactly. Shared values.
And the book even includes economic concepts.
Oh, wow.
You see phrases like business prosperity
Okay.
and economic recession,
Right.
reminding us that human efforts
Uh-huh.
often have both success and setbacks.
It's like this vocabulary list
Yeah.
is a tiny version of human experience.
Mhm.
It have our relationship with nature,
Yeah.
our social structures, our good times and our bad times.
It's a great observation.
Yeah.
It all comes back to language.
Uh-huh.
These words aren't just labels.
Right.
They shape how we see the world and how we interact with it.
So it's not just about knowing definitions.
Yeah.
It's about understanding how language shows our values,
Yeah,
our history, our place in everything.
you got it.
That's what makes this deep dive so cool.
Yeah.
We're not just learning new words.
Right.
We're uncovering how language shapes how we understand reality.
I'm starting to see that everything we've talked about,
Yeah.
from cats to vocab,
Uh-huh.
it's all connected by language and classification.
It's all about making sense of the world.
Right, right.
Finding patterns, creating meaning.
Yeah,
And that process never stops.
right?
Think about it.
Yeah.
New words are being created all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
They reflect new discoveries,
Yay.
changing social norms.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
here's a big question.
Okay.
Do the words we use
Yeah.
really capture how complex things are?
Interesting.
Or are there things that get lost in translation?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
It makes me think about the limits of language.
Uh-huh.
Can words ever truly capture
Yeah.
the vastness of nature
We're
or the
done.
complexity of being human? Yeah.
There's always some interpretation involved.
Right.
A layer of meaning that might be different
Uh-huh.
for each person or culture.
It makes you appreciate
Yeah.
both the power and the limits of language.
Definitely think of language like a bridge.
Okay.
It connects us to new ideas,
Yeah,
but it's not always perfect.
that's a great analogy.
Right.
And I think it sums up today perfectly.
Yeah.
We started with British Shorthairs
Uh-huh.
and ended up exploring the nature of language itself
Exactly.
and how it impacts how we see the world.
That's the cool thing about these deep dives.
I know, right?
You never know where they'll take you.
Exactly.
All about being curious,
Yeah.
being open to new connections.
And on that note,
Yeah.
we want to hear from you.
What insights did you get from these sources?
What connections did you make?
Let us know what you're thinking.
And we'll continue this chat in our next deep dive. Thinking about the limits of language,
Uh-huh.
it makes me think about something from that British Shorthair article.
Okay.
The author said that a cat's physical traits are almost like a language, like
Right.
a way of communicating about their lineage and history.
It's
It's
a-
like how words communicate our thoughts.
It is. It is.
So even animals use physical characteristics to communicate.
Yeah, it really makes you think about all the different ways that communication happens in nature.
Yeah.
How do animals share their emotions
Wait.
or complex ideas without words?
That's a good question.
It's a whole area of study.
It really is.
Yeah.
It makes me think back to that question you asked.
Uh-huh.
How much can we really understand
Yeah.
just through language?
Right. There's always going to be
Yeah.
interpretation.
Right.
Each person or culture might find a different meaning.
It makes you appreciate the good and bad of language.
For sure.
Yeah.
Think of it like
Yeah.
a bridge to new ideas,
Okay.
but not a perfect one.
I love that analogy.
Right.
It really sums up everything we've talked about today.
Yeah.
We started with British Shorthair cats, and we ended up talking about the nature of language.
And how it impacts our whole understanding of the world.
Exactly.
It's amazing.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So we learned how to spot a real British Shorthair.
Yes.
We expanded our vocabularies.
We did.
And we got a better understanding of how language reflects our relationship with the world.
That's a lot for one deep dive.
It is.
But who knows what other cool connections are out there?
I know. That's what's so exciting.
Exactly.
A big thanks to everyone for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Keep diving deep, everyone.
And we'll see you next time.